All right, guys, we're going to do a kata. This is a beginner kata. It's called Song Song 2. And if you are white, orange, or yellow belt, this might be one of the katas that you're working on. So I'm going to kind of give an overview of it, something to kind of give you kind of a primer, I guess, kind of show you some of the moves of it. This way you can practice at home. You'll have kind of a reference for it as well. Okay, I'm going to do it facing this direction since in the class most of the time we are facing this way. So it will kind of help you out a little bit since we're going the same way. All right, the first thing we do is we always start with the attention stance. Attention, just like this, and bow. Very good. And chumbi. All right, now first move, number one, is double knife hand block. And you go to a back stance. Now a lot of times when you're doing back stance, sometimes you'll see people going forwards real far, but you don't want to go too far forwards. What you're going to do, instead of thinking about going forwards, go down. Drop your weight down onto your back leg. All right, so you just turn your foot, drop your weight down, and extend your foot back. So it's just like your body is lined up here, ankle, knee, shoulder, in a straight line, just like that. All right, most of your weight is on your back leg, so you're kind of leaning back a little bit. All right, so that's the first move for back stance. So the first move is a double knife hand block to a back stance. Your hands come back just like this, step forwards, drop your weight down, and block just like this. Double knife hand block. Number two, the second move, you have to shift your weight from a back stance, from the back to the front, to a front stance. So from here you shift and punch with your back hand, just like that. All right, so to kind of show you, kind of head on like this. The first move, from here you block this way, and then you step over with the front foot, shifting your weight forwards and punching straight forwards, just like that. Okay, so that's one and two. So number one is this way, number two is this way, and then number three is a round kick with your back leg. So you're gonna take your back leg, bring it around, kick, and then back fist and bring it back, just like this. You're gonna land to a middle stance. Boom, boom, just like that. The next one, the next move is also a front stance. You're gonna move your front foot, and you're gonna do an outer forearm block, blocking with the outside of your arm. So from here, you step this way and block out, just like that. That's number four. Number five is gonna be palm strike, just like that. That's the first half of the whole kata. Now the good thing about it is you do one side going this way, and then you repeat it going the other direction, doing the other side. So if you know these first five moves, really, you know the next five as well. It's just the same thing, only on the other side. Okay? So let's try it. I'm going to show you the whole thing. Attention. Bow. And if you'd like, you can practice along. Chumbi. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Number 6, it's the hardest move. You have to take a step forwards. Block. There you go. Number 7, just like this. 8, kick again. Back fist. 9 and 10. Right back where you started. Back to your ready position and bow. One of the good things about it is like I said before, it repeats. You go this way, then you do the exact same thing going the other way. Number 6 is usually the hardest move because you're like this and you have to take a giant step forwards. So when you're here, instead of going to here, you're going to come from here and come all the way forwards. Step all the way through, okay? A few points to remember is think about your stances. Remember we said there's 3 things you have to remember when you're practicing a kata. Number 1 is what are your legs doing? What are your stances like? Remember, your stances have to shift. If it's a different stance, your feet and weight have to be in a different position. There's 3 basic stances, of course, front stance, back stance, and horse stance. But that's the first thing. Think about your stances, number one, okay? Because that controls your hips, where your body is. Number two is where does the technique begin and where does it end? So for instance, if you're doing a double knife hand block, the very first move of this kata, where does it start? It starts back here, away from you. It doesn't start here and then come up, but it starts back here, away from you, pointing all the way the other direction, and then it comes across just like a windshield wiper. So it starts back here, fullest range of motion, boom, and then comes across just like this. The next move, the punch, where does it start? It starts from here, and your belt, it comes from here, boom, and goes straight in. Just like that. So, first thing is your stance. Where's your weight? What are your feet doing? The second thing is, where does the technique start and where does it end? My teacher used to say, every technique has a beginning and it has an end. And then there's a path that it has to travel to get there. Kind of like life, I guess. And then the other thing is, the third thing is, what is your face doing or what is your focus doing? Are you doing a technique and you're looking off this way as you do it, or are you focusing? When you punch, one of the easiest ways to get your focus in line is, for instance, if you punch, you're punching, look right at your hand, just like this. If I'm doing a knife hand, or let's say a double knife hand block, just like the first move of this kata, boom, I'm looking straight ahead, right at my technique. When I punch, looking right at it, just like that, focusing my eyes and my face directly on what we're doing. So, guys, that's Song 2. Check it out. Practice it a couple of times. It's not really that difficult. It's only 10 moves, but the secret is not knowing the moves. The secret is doing the moves, is practicing them. In order to be good at anything, I don't care if it's karate or martial arts or music or math, whatever it is, how you get better at it is not by knowing it, but by practicing. So practice it a couple of times. If you have it, it doesn't take that much practice to be good at it. But if you do it just like maybe, once or twice, even if you only did it once a day, you're going to see phenomenal results. Anyway, guys, I'll see you in class.